Hey there, Scorpio. Welcome to your reading for the week of April 14th. You have the book and the lady showing up. This is the Gilded Lenormand. I don't know why that was funny, but it was. So there you go. The book can represent like hidden or secret information, and it's not really hidden or secret. It just means that you have to look for that information. It's actually one of my favorite cards in the Lenormand because the book is always closed on the book card, and it just says if you open the book, if you learn something new, then you will find a lot of success. So it is a really good card for creating success. With the lady here, this could be like secrets coming out or information that's being revealed to you here, Scorpio. And so there could be like some sort of, secret or information that you're receiving. I'm not sure if it's going to be good or bad for you yet. We'll find out. You do have the Eight of Swords. Of course, you have the Tower. Like at this point, it wouldn't even be a Scorpio reading without it. One thing I will say is that the Tower is your card. So, is it really bad? I would say maybe not. It's your card. It's you showing up in the reading, which puts you in a position of power and strength. You have the Eight of Swords, the Tower, and the Two of Pentacles. This could be something that you have to set yourself free from. The Eight of Swords is self-imposed restriction, and the Eight of Swords is also being stuck only looking at one way of doing things when there are many. And the Tower can bring us down to reality. The Tower, we are inside the Tower, we're building up the walls around us too high, and the universe says, no, you're ignoring reality, you need to come down to reality. So this could be like it's just reality, right? It could just be you seeing the reality of a situation in your life or accepting a reality. And, it definitely could be like a secret coming out with the lady in the book as your first two cards. And that's definitely something to think about. But also with that book card, I would be saying that if you are feeling stuck at this time, that you could just be discovering information with this card. There's a lightning bolt hitting the top of the tower, and it kind of represents like a light bulb moment or a sudden realization that you are having. And the crown is falling off the top of the tower. The crown falling off the top of the tower represents the death of establishment. It's like sometimes it's hard to accept a reality. Sometimes it's hard to accept a truth. If you've been investing your time, your effort, your energy, your attention into anything for a very long period of time, it is hard to accept that it's the wrong way of doing things, right? And that's kind of like what I'm getting here off of this reading is that some of you, it's like maybe you're realizing that the way that you're working or the way that you're giving your energy to something or the way that you're trying to build something, it's like you're finally admitting to yourself that it's not working. And that can definitely be a tower moment, but at the same time, it's kind of like a good tower moment because the alternative is to just keep not doing what works. And it looks to me like instead of that, maybe you are choosing to, accept what does work in life and you're moving in a better direction. You have the Two of Pentacles here. Two of Pentacles, like work hard, play hard. It's also like having a choice. It's also spinning plates. I'm pretty sure for the past couple of months, we've been talking about how Scorpio is very busy. It's kind of almost like you are too busy to make some changes or something like that is popping into my head. I think in one of your last readings, I was saying it's almost like that there are things you have to do differently. But, it's like sometimes in life we just have a lot of burdens. Sometimes in life there are obligations that we have to deal with that make it much harder to make a change, right? And I kind of, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I definitely feel that, that's where Scorpio has been. If you have a job and children, for example, it's like it could be really hard for you to want to work on your side hustle, or it could be hard to get other things accomplished. So, what I'm trying to spit out here, Scorpio, is it's almost like time is a problem, or having the time to do something is a problem. I guess the good news is that I think you are setting yourself free from this, or you will be. Yep, with the Eight of Swords, you have the Two of Pentacles. It's almost like saying that the Two of Pentacles is the solution, because with the Eight of Swords, she's only accepting one reality. She's only accepting that things in her life can only be done one way. And Two of Pentacles is juggling. It kind of says no, there are many ways that you can get things done in your life. So, staying open to all the ways of doing things would be a very good idea with that card. With the Tower, you have the Ten of Pentacles. The book in the Lenormand is the Ten of Diamonds, which is the Ten of Pentacles. So, this is actually pretty good. Ten of Pentacles is everything you want and desire in your life. And a lot of you could be having like a light bulb moment or a sudden realization this week of how to build the Ten of Pentacles. You are a fixed sign. Every single fixed sign that I read for gets the Ten of Pentacles. It's actually pretty crazy. Part of me thinks that it's probably Uranus and Taurus. Uranus and Taurus wants us to build something permanent, wants us to build on a solid foundation. And so a lot of you could be being pushed to build things in life that are more secure, that are more stable. And that's kind of what I feel like you're being pushed to create at this time. With the Two of Pentacles, you have the Two of Swords. Yeah, just a stuck feeling in the first row. The rest of the reading isn't so bad. Not that the first part of the reading is bad, but, just a little bit stuck. She only thinks she has this option or this option, but really she has this option as well behind her, which is that she could move in a completely new direction. She could go to this island behind her, and she doesn't have to settle on this or that. She can create something else. And so she has a blindfold on, just like the lady on the Eight of Swords has a blindfold on. And the blindfolds in the tarot represent needing to trust your intuition. And so it might be a good week to like slow things down and listen to your intuition or try to tap in to your intuition. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have the Scales card. It says justice and documents. You have this Teeth. It says control and change. So if you're dealing with something legal, there could be justice coming in for you. I also feel like some of you are trying to create a change in your life, but there's like some sort of gap that you're having to cover, because we have the Moon, the Hangman, and the Seven of Swords. The thing about the Moon is that it's part of the Fool's journey, but it's dark, and he has no clue where he is going. So he has to follow this path to these mountains. He knows that he wants to reach those mountains because, those mountains represent like his achievement or his goal that he's trying to accomplish. But we also have this Lobster, which represents needing to release your emotional armor. We have this Dog and the Wolf, or the Dog and the Coyote, whichever you prefer. And they represent needing to balance out your wild side and your domestic side. We also have these two pillars, which say do not get distracted on your journey. If you set out to accomplish a goal, then do not change your goal. Stick to seeing, make sure that you see your goal through to the end. And the Moon reminds us of all those things. And I kind of feel like it's time to do that, to do all that, to balance things out. The hardest part of the Moon is definitely your emotional armor. It's hard to enter into something new and be vulnerable. And I'm not just talking about love here. Pretty much anytime we go through something, in work or business or something else, it's kind of like we enter into the new situation a little bit guarded. But the Moon kind of says we have to let down our guard to be successful in the first place. A lobster can't do very well on the land, and it can't move around very well because it's wearing its emotional armor. And so it's kind of like a weird fact of life, right? We have to we're always taking the risk of doing something that could get us hurt, but it's just part of life. You have the Hangman. I literally said to Pisces that I think everybody's going to get the Hangman, and I haven't been wrong yet. The Hangman is in Hangman mode, but we just had a bunch of retrogrades. We have not had a time like this in a long time. We had like 6 months straight of nonstop retrograde energy since November until like just now. And so, we've been dealing with some crazy retrograde garbage for a long time. And so the Hangman makes perfect sense because during retrogrades, we get put in Hangman mode. We get put on pause so that we can gain enlightenment, so that we can gain answers. So it makes perfect sense to me that everybody would be getting the Hangman at this time, because it's like we've all been looking for answers, and now we're getting the answers that we've been looking for, and we can finally move forward. So the trick with the Hangman is to, sorry, I have something in my eye now, is to realize that you have gained the enlightenment, and now you can move forward wherever you want in your life. You have the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords, honestly, is going to be fixed signs' best friend. So I think all the fixed signs need to use Seven of Swords energy. Seven of Swords is about tactics. Like, instead of going to war with this army in the background of the card, he's stealing the sword so that they can't go to war with him. And the Seven of Swords is all about that. It's all about kind of coming up with a better way of doing everything that you're doing, and coming up in being tactical, using strategy to find success. And I think that coming up with a strategy or a plan for anything that you're trying to accomplish at this time is going to be really good for you. We go up here to the World. And so again, it's clear to me that this reading is talking about some sort of accomplishment or something that you do want to accomplish. With the moon, you have the Six of Pentacles. Yeah, it's about taking the first steps. Kind of boring, to be quite honest with you, Scorpio, because Six of Pentacles is just about taking steps in a direction. He's making small investments. I look at the Six of Pentacles as like planting a couple of seeds, like trying a couple of things to get closer to your goal. And then you need to pay attention to what's working, what's not working, and whatever works, double down on those things. Whatever doesn't work, get rid of it, right? And that's basically what the Six of Pentacles says. With the Hangman, you have the High Priestess here. So definitely needing to trust your intuition. Here we have the Eight of Swords and the Two of Swords both going in to the High Priestess. So the blindfolds in the tarot, again, represent needing to trust your intuition. The High Priestess also represents unlimited potential, but, potential means nothing. And I feel based off the astrology, there is a lot of potential for water signs. But again, potential means nothing. Potential means what you put into something is what you're going to get out of it. So that's why I really encourage water signs to, be bold, to be confident, to really go for that Ten of Pentacles, right? The Ten of Pentacles is your dream life, like your ultimate dream life. And the reading isn't saying like, oh, you're definitely going to manifest this dream life. But it is saying it would be worth it to try. And, the other thing I think people forget about the Ten of Pentacles is like, even if you only get like 50% of the way there, that's probably a lot better than what you're living right now, right? So the Ten of Pentacles isn't about being perfect. It's about trying to create a dream life, and doing that and putting the work in will make your life better. With the Six of Swords, the Seven of Swords, you have the Six of Swords. Six of Swords is about moving on to calmer shores, heading towards improvements. So a lot of you could be definitely creating improvements at this time. Again, the first row is definitely a little bit, tricky. And so I think this is something you need, is like the ability to move forward to calmer shores. I also feel, I'm kind of surprised the Ten of Wands hasn't shown up in this reading, because, it just the first row gives me those feelings. It's like there are certain obligations that have been holding you back. And I feel that a lot of you, it's like this is kind of maybe your first break where, things aren't perfect, but you could be finally getting a break and finally moving on from things that have been an obligation. Next, in messages from your future self, you have this Foresee card and this Forgive card. So a lot of you, we are in a time of forgiveness. The month of April is kind of a month of healing. So any forgiveness and healing that you could do would be really good. That Foresee card, I feel, is saying that, again, if you trust your intuition, it's almost like you will be seeing the future, and I would use that to your advantage. It's like you could be seeing things that other people aren't, and you could be using those things for your advantage. You have the Five of Pentacles, the Four of Pentacles, and the Ace of Cups. The Five of Pentacles can represent feeling left out in the cold, but really the Five of Pentacles has a very easy solution, and the solution to the Five of Pentacles is to focus on your strengths, not your weaknesses. Right now, based off your astrology, Scorpio, I would say that the Five of Pentacles is really probably saying to you that even if there's only one good reason why you should do something, then you should do it. The Five of Pentacles can sometimes say that there are a million reasons why you can't do what you want to do with your life. But if there's even just one good reason, then that is enough with the Five of Pentacles. And the Five of Pentacles is saying, like, sure, there might be a million obstacles in your way, or there might be a million weaknesses that you can pay attention to. But again, if there's one strength that you have that says you can accomplish this goal, or you can do this thing, then that is really what you need to focus on with the Five of Pentacles. With the Four of Pentacles and the Five of Pentacles as well, this is kind of funny because, if you are experiencing restriction in your life, like financially especially, the Four of Pentacles can say it's because you're playing it too safe, right? The Four of Pentacles can say that you need to try, you need to take bigger risks. I'll give you a perfect example here, Scorpio. For the first 4 years of this channel, I wouldn't put titles on my readings. Like, I had this fear of people calling me out for clickbait and stuff like that, right? And so I had this fear of using titles. But it's like once I started using titles on my videos started growing. And guess what? Do people say that I use clickbait? Yes, all the time. But also those people are dumb because my titles match my videos. Is that really clickbait? No. it would only be clickbait if they didn't match, right? And so really I had a fear that was holding me back. And that's kind of how I feel about the Five of Pentacles and the Four of Pentacles, is that, yeah, guess what? People are going to say things anyway about the changes you make, but who cares, number one. Number two, it's like you're just holding yourself back. And I feel that with the Four of Pentacles, where it's kind of like there's something that you could be doing with your life, or there could be like a risk that you could take. And it's like, yeah, sure, people are going to have something to say about it, but also who cares? It's like, they say lions don't care about the opinions of sheep, right? And so it's like, who cares if you're getting a result? And as long as you're not hurting anyone, it doesn't matter. So I feel the Four of Pentacles is saying, bigger risks, or, take more chances. You have the Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups is about getting into the flow. I kind of feel like Scorpio has been out of the flow for so long that it might be hard for Scorpio to know what the flow even looks like in the first place. And so the Ace of Cups is doing those things in your life that you can do endlessly. The Ace of Cups, the cup can reach down into the water below it, and it can easily fill itself back up, right? So the Ace of Cups is about doing those things in your life that you can do day in, day out, endlessly. And I feel that for a lot of you, where it's like, excuse me, there could be things that you could do endlessly in your life. These could be activities or things that you think are fun, hobbies, all that other stuff. And the Ace of Cups says the more we put ourselves in the flow, the better. And I think you need to discover your flow. With the Five of Pentacles, you have the Two of Wands. Yes, Two of Wands is thinking things will always be this way. He is standing at the top of this castle, and he's looking out into the world out here. He's not looking at the world right here in his hands. So he's looking at things from a limited perspective. He's thinking he's screwed or he's stuck because he rushed to a finish line. He didn't enjoy the journey. But what he needs to realize is that he can change his life. And I kind of feel that for you, Scorpio, where this reading is saying you need to realize, I'm not saying it's going to be easy. I'm not saying it's going to be all sunshine, rainbows, and unicorns. But I am saying that you need to realize that you can change your life, that things can be better. And I truly believe that for you, Scorpio. So, for those of you that don't know, my life sucked for about 4.5 years, plain and simple. And I was stuck in my room, staring at a wall, doing nothing, basically all day long for like 4.5 years. And I had to pull my head out of my rear end. And like, I literally saw no way out. I was making $0 for 4.5 years, living with my parents. I was always ending up in trouble financially. Like, I was always ending up for like 1 year, it's like 3 or 4 times I managed to overdraft my bank account like 8 times, to $800, almost exactly every single time. Every single time I did make money, something would happen during that 4.5 years that would take almost exactly that amount of money away from me. I remember one time in particular, I had a problem with my car and I needed like $1,100 or whatever it was to fix the car. I made the money. I came up with an idea. I made almost to the cent, exactly what I needed. And then I had to pay for my car. So it's like, it seemed like the world was against me at that time, Scorpio. It's like nothing I did felt right. Everything I did felt wrong. And, I'm just saying this because I know what it feels like. I've been there and I managed to get out of it. And so I think you can too. You have the Strength card with the Four of Pentacles. The Four of Pentacles can be a card of stability. It can, be a card of holding on too tightly to things. The Strength card is about kind of like overcoming that. Strength is about inner strength. This lion represents your inner voice. It represents your inner demons. And she is the one that is taming this lion. She has her hands in this lion's mouth, and she is the one that is controlling what this lion says. So I think that taking control will also probably help you overcome this. With the Ace of Cups, you have the Empress. Really good. So again, some of you could be attracting love going this way. So if you're looking for new love, you could be very attractive at this time, Scorpio. The Empress is also about abundance. So, again, talking about all these issues, really, you could be attracting a lot of abundance into your life at this time. Next, in the area of the good stuff, here you go. You have this card. It says, the end of a tough cycle approaches. You also have this card. It says, surrender to the divine. So maybe it is time to surrender to the divine, and you could be ending a difficult cycle. That's the other thing. It's like sometimes we go through these lessons, and it's like the more we fight against it, the worse things get. But at the same time, again, I was getting like the feeling of the Ten of Wands in this reading. So, again, a lot of you could be ending a tough cycle. You do have the World, which could represent the end of a cycle. The World is the last card in the major arcana, and it can represent an accomplishment or achievement, but really it can also just represent the end of a cycle. So, and the end of a tough cycle approaches is full moon in Capricorn. The World is Capricorn. So again, I think those two cards are playing nicely with each other here, and you could be ending a tough cycle. You have the Five of Wands. Five of Wands is normally conflict or competition, but obviously in the good stuff, this can say that you are overcoming some sort of conflict or competition in your life, or you're bringing an end to a situation that has caused conflict or competition to your life. So I feel pretty good about this Five of Wands. The Five of Wands can also represent learning from the competition. Remember, you start with that book card, and the book represents hidden or secret information. So the Five of Wands doesn't say compare yourself to the competition, but it does say if there is competition for something you want, learning from the competition could be extremely helpful, and that's what I would do with this card. You have the Four of Swords. Yeah, maybe you need a break. Four of Swords is like resting, relaxing, recovering. Four of Swords is also hoping and praying for a blessing. There's a person right here who's blessing another person in the stained glass window. So a lot of you could be like hoping or praying to receive some sort of blessing in your life. But let's see where this is going. With the World, you have the Page of Cups. Page of Cups can be love, of course. So if you're looking for love, definitely could be like an admirer or secret admirer coming in for you here. Could involve travel with that World card. Could be any sign. I mean, you literally have like every single sign in this reading. So if you want love, it could be any sign coming in for you. But I definitely feel you could be attracting a person. With the Five of Wands, you have the Seven of Cups. Yeah, being spoiled for choice. We have narrow vision in this reading. Eight of Swords, Two of Swords. Very narrow vision, Seven of Cups would be good with the Five of Wands because it would say you're opening up to all the options. Instead of only thinking there's one way to do things, you're seeing that there's a million ways that you can accomplish whatever you're trying to accomplish, or there's a million ways you can do whatever you're trying to do here. So really good. With the Four of Swords, you have the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords can be like lying, cheating, stealing, but again, in the good stuff, it is a card of tactics. So coming up with a plan or coming up with tactics on how you can accomplish whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish here would be a really good idea. The Seven of Swords can also say that you're taking things too seriously. He has these polka dots on his cloak here, and the polka dots in the tarot can represent taking things too seriously, needing to be more playful. So again, I would be careful of taking things too seriously. You have this Spear card. It says heartache over what you no longer have. Yes, Four of Pentacles. I don't really like the Four of Pentacles, period. Sometimes I think it's a good card. If I'm doing a reading and there's a bunch of cards that talk about financial stability, then okay, Four of Pentacles is a good card. But for the most part, we are cheating ourselves out of something really good with the Four of Pentacles. So with the Four of Pentacles, it can say that we could be having heartbreak over something we no longer have. But what we need to realize is that we are attracting something so much better. And I feel that is going on for you. You have this Cobweb card. It says protected from negative forces beyond your control. So again, you are protected at this time. You have this Lobster card. Yep, it says financial pinch on it. Probably with the Moon card. The Moon card has a lobster on it, which is about your emotional armor, trying to protect yourself too much. Again, I gave you the example of my channel with the titles, right? I was trying to protect myself from something that I can't protect myself from anyway. So, I feel like this lobster is connected to that Moon, and it's saying you might be holding yourself back financially by not taking big enough risks. And you can't make this up because you have this Tiger card. It says doing something risky, taking a chance. Yes, a risk will pay off for you here, Scorpio, is what this card is saying. It's like doing something risky, putting yourself out there in a bigger way, opening up to the opportunity that, or opening up to an opportunity that could potentially hurt you is like the risk that you could be taking here. You have this February card and this I card. It says psychic ability, trust your intuition. Yes, we talked all about needing to trust your intuition in this reading as well. So definitely trust your intuition. But this looks pretty good here, Scorpio. So thank you for being here and definitely enjoy your week.